It's up. God, it's cold. My basement right now.
I couldn't remember if you were going to be available this Friday or not. But then I was trying to reason. I'm like, oh, normally Sean's pattern is if he can't make it, he usually bubbles up an opportunity of doing it a day before, unless he's taking an entire week vacation. But in theory, if he would have done that, he would have done that during the holiday season, and we're like a month past that. So it's highly likely, it's a 99% probability that we're still having it. This is the way I think.
Yeah, if I'm not 6 minute, if I'm not here by 6 minutes after, that's when you should really start being like, what the hell? So
Have you are you a deductive reasoner, like just by default, like your mind immediately performs analytics to come up with a decision, and it may annoy like your wife or something?
I guess I've never thought about that. Probably. There's a lot of things where she'll point out where I reason through it and go, that doesn't make any sense, and then she'll get mad at me. So, but
Uh,
yeah, I don't know.
it's been plenty of times where I'm I'm like having a heated discussion with my chick, and I just get fed up. And I'm like, you know what? F your feelings. We're talking about logic. We're talking about facts. Like your feelings don't matter right now. We need a solution, right? You feel this and that. That's not helping me. Like I'll just start going in. But I wish we weren't built so differently.
Yeah, well, it's our differences that
What would life be
provide
like without
well-rounded.
emotions?
Pointless, probably.
No, not at all. Man, we'll be space age aliens. We would have colonized the solar system by now if feelings weren't involved.
Well, I
If,
guess it depends on. So you're saying emotions, not like.
the most elite people on the earth would exist as a result of not entertaining feelings. The gene pool would root out anything that's weak, anything that relies on excuse and manipulation through excuse and weakness. So,
That would mean like no entertainment, no
do I sound like a
pleasure.
white supremacist?
No, no. Aren't there black supremacists?
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Yeah, there you go. So put me in the camp,
It's kind
man.
of contrary. This happened to me yesterday. It happens to me. Well, really, it happens to me nearly every day. Where so I live in a predominantly Jewish neighborhood. Okay,
Yeah.
and I find it funny that you just laughed at me for saying that.
I don't know why. You're like
Um,
black supremacist. Then I live in the Jewish neighborhood.
yeah. So this is what happens. I'll see I'll see either a black homeless person or someone that's mentally ill. And I don't really fault homelessness, right? Because honestly, I think I'm probably 6 months away from that as well. Um, but every single time I'm in a predominantly white area or even Latin area, anything that's not black, right?
Hmm.
And there's that one black guy that's like struggling mentally and he's shouting to the top of his lungs or he's just doing something really, really ignorant. This happens to me yesterday. I'm like, why the F do we have to share the same skin color? Why is he setting my race back? As much as Malcolm X, Martin Luther King fought and died for this ish, why is this person still sustaining the stereotype? Man, I wish I could just walk up on him and shake the hell out of him. But then the police will come and beat me up, tase me, throw me in jail, have to do another set of community service because I acted out on my emotions. Hence, going back to, I wish we didn't have emotions. We would be so much more productive and we wouldn't entertain stupidity in our society.
Hmm.
All right, I'm done venting. But yeah, I honestly do that. I was like, yo, why does this dude have to share the same skin color that I have, man? It's not helpful for me or for anybody else that's trying to level up. I don't think white people think like that.
I think we would
Hey, gambler.
if we were in a situation where we're surrounded by, people that aren't our skin color. I mean, it just happens to be that
Is
we're
it
like.
called prison?
Well, I mean, I guess, if I was walking down a street with somebody and that somebody's white and they're running their mouth and we're going down in a black neighborhood, I'd be like, what the fuck like, what are you doing? You're stupid, like. But I guess I wouldn't have the thought like because it's our skin color or anything like that. I'd just be really embarrassed and try to distance myself from that person. But um,
Our presentation is what we're usually judged on, and
yeah.
it's subconscious. I do it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
For
for sure.
example, I'm just going to be brutally honest. If I see a fat person that's like extremely obese, regardless of skin color, the first thing I think is, how is that possible? This person does not respect themselves that much that the first time that they looked in the mirror after coming out the shower, they're like, yeah, I'm straight. And then 6 months later, 30 pounds more, they kept on saying, I'm not going to do anything about it. Like, I immediately start judging people based on their presentation, especially when I think that they have control over it. And I don't know, I just think that if you disrespect your body, then you're probably not going to respect other things in life, such as the people that invest in you, the projects that you're on. And I know that's kind of far fetched, but
No, I guess it makes sense. I mean, a lot of people don't have control over that stuff though, and
most people do have
yeah,
control over that stuff. It's a minority
yeah.
that doesn't.
See, I don't think that that's necessarily okay. I mean, it's a like it's mentally very difficult to come out of those things. But and there's some people who do all the right things and they stuck. But what bothers me is people who like somehow glorify it or like
Yeah.
the oh, this is good. This is it's good to be this way, and I'm beautiful, and you're an idiot if you don't think I. It's like, come on, you know.
Uh, I came. There was one time, like I came home from running like a couple miles in the morning, and I saw my significant other, and I walked in the house all hot and sweaty, glistening, right? And then I asked her like, "Oh, are you working out today?" She got upset, and she was like, you shouldn't chastise me. I don't like it when you tease me or call me fat." And I'm like, what the f? Like, I literally just got done working out. I step inside the door, and I'm asking you, or are you going to work out too? Like, what? At what point do people start owning up that? I don't even think that's constructive criticism. At what point do people stop feeling attacked and start being stoic? You know what I mean? At what point is, if when someone asks you if you're going to get it in today, you don't feel like, I don't even know how to say it. Um, I think people's feelings are just too much involved, and there's not enough people that have a stoic mentality to just do whatever they need to do to be healthy in life and to have better outcomes in the future.
Yeah, I mean, there might be some phenomenon there where it's taken as a rhetorical question or like an ask, not a really like a like you need to do this rather than a like are you doing this like yeah, and then nobody likes to be told what to do though. It's like so I could see that there's a bit of that,
Says who?
but I don't know. I a lot of people don't like to be told what to do with things or have implied that, you know, like
The
keep after your
problem.
own damn schedule, you know.
No. The problem is we appear to be an extremely soft generation that's a product of single parent homes. We prioritize feelings over outcomes. And this is why society is effed up. This is why the crime rate is what it is, in which it's skyrocketed. This is why you're in New York, Chicago, and other sanctuary cities are now realizing the consequences of their decisions due to a lack of foresight. Is people don't focus on what they need to do. They focus on emotions and they don't think about outcomes. Like, I don't think I should. I don't, man. I should like revoke my citizenship. I think China builds stronger men. Do they?
I don't know.
Right, definitely Nigeria.
Sure.
I don't want to be part of this society anymore.
Let's move to rural areas.
Move to Scandinavian countries. Are those the toughest? I think we had this conversation. What?
No.
No. What conversation did we have about the? We were talking about the.
Strongman
No,
competitions.
I think we were talking about. It had to do with war, and I was asking you, or maybe it was like which country
Oh yeah, it was like
produced the
about the
strongest men, but that was tightly coupled to era of time, right? So
yeah.
Japan today may not be pumping out the same level of testosterone men as it did during World War II, where it was really about death over dishonor. All right, I'm done venting.
Yeah, it's like a cultural thing.
I wish I could bleach that guy's skin. Like, I don't want
Go
him
ahead, we'll
showing.
accept him.
You ever see Dave Chappelle's skit, the when he had to skit on the racial draft? And
No.
no, you didn't see it?
No. I
It's
gotta
funny.
watch it.
Asians. So you have the Asians, the Jews, the blacks, the whites, etc. The Asians, they drafted Wu-Tang Clan. The the Jews, they drafted Lenny Kravitz. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. The blacks during the first round draft, they picked up Eminem. I forgot who the whites picked up. Yeah, cause normally it would be Michael Jackson, but he was already dead. Yeah, I forget. So it was a funny skit.
I gotta watch it. The only really one that I've watched because somebody told me about it was funny was the one where it was the blind guy who the blind racist
Uh,
black guy.
yeah, I forgot his name. Um, his name is on the tip of my tongue.
He divorces her at the
He divorced his wife. She was a Negro lover.
end. Yeah. It's just so funny. Oh man.
Um, anyways, in regards to tech, I I, I, I wrote two. Well, I wrote one API. I'm in the middle of publishing another API, probably by the end of today, maybe tomorrow, to be realistic. The first API was me practicing Azure Cosmos DB and Redis, specifically implementing the cache aside pattern. And so that's out there. I think I sent you and Odie a message on Twitter
Oh yeah, that's right.
to check it out and provide feedback. Odie did. And then, so that one's out there. I wrote a blog post on it, a lazy blog post. And then I'm currently getting ready to publish another API. This one is, what technology am I even practicing on this one? Let me look at my solution. Oh, yeah. This is Cosmos DB. And so this is Cosmos DB where the API exposes the concept of a tenant and a tenant's like folders, aka containers. And even though it's all under one Azure account, and they could upload, download, or list the blog files. And I think I'm probably going to add Azure Content Delivery Network to the solution. so I could satisfy my hands-on familiarity with CDNs. And all this is essentially an effort to take my Azure certification for a third time. So this is why I'm doing all these like API services using all these Azure packages or technologies.
Yeah, was that the areas that they indicated you needed to work on?
No, well, yes and no. They don't tell you what questions you got wrong. They'll just say, yeah, you score like 65% on Azure storage. They don't tell you if it's blob storage, Cosmos DB, um, Azure tables. They don't tell you like which technology that you need to focus on. But hell, I mean, these are public GitHub repos. I'm sure when I'm on assignment again, I'll just quickly grab or reference one of the repos. And instead of taking a couple of days to get something done, I'll get it done like within like 20 minutes. Have you ever done that? You ever relied on like your pet projects, um, and you were able to like just get something done like within half a day when it was really projected to take like a week or two?
Yeah, yeah, I've done that before. I've had
Feels good. Did you
things
let
where
them
you
know your secret, or did you just act like you were awesome and like you were the one, the selected?
no, no, I don't know. I don't know that there's ever been a situation where it's a bragging situation because of that. But I've set up projects and things and just cruised through a bunch of work,
Yeah, but
just
you don't
being able to
disclose
go and grab it.
how you were able to pump it out so quickly, do you?
No,
Yeah.
no. Wizard doesn't give up his secrets, especially to do the 1 billion row challenge like Gamler did.
In random stuff, I enjoyed the 1 billion row challenge. Got my solution down to below 6 seconds on the reference machine. I never heard of 1 billion row challenge. It sounds expensive.
No, I think that there's like a data file with a billion rows, and then the goal is to process it and ask some sort of question of it. I is what I or tabulate some results or something like that. I've seen it pop up, but I haven't really dug into it. But I hear 6 seconds is kind of a pretty high benchmark.
My
So
brain
good job.
keeps on changing words. So in Gambler's comment, where it says the naive implementation took around 290 seconds, you know what my brain read that as?
The
The
native implementation.
native
Yeah,
implementation took, and I had to reread it.
probably is a
Like,
native implementation.
that's not a form of dyslexia, is it?
No, no, I don't think so. That
Have you
your
ever done that?
brain, yeah, I mean your brain will fill in the middle of words all the time. So if
Okay.
it's pattern matching. So like, haven't you seen those things where they'll give you a sentence and only the first and last word letter are the same, but everything in the middle of every word is jumbled, but you can still read it like no problem.
Hmm. I, maybe. Do you have a black man reading to you?
No, only if I read
Am I
your
wrong?
stuff. If I were to go on your blog and read your blog, I would hear your voice in my head reading it.
uh, yeah. Yeah, I still got that white guy reading to me when I read anything that's educational. It's pretty effed up.
Is it like I don't know? I'm trying to think of like who a white educational guy would have been. Is it like a Mister Rogers character, or am I?
No, it's like a voice off of like National Geographic. It's like
And now the prairie.
yeah, the age is
What
like
if women
between
were more logical?
yeah, the age is it's not like a
Is he
young
like
white
English or?
it's not like a young white guy. It's like a this guy that's the narrator in my brain that's white, that's a white man. He's like, if I could guess, between the age of like 40 to maybe
How do you know
60
he's white?
because of his voice. He's not Asian. He's not black. What else is there? He's not Mexican or Latino.
Maybe he's just a very white sounding black guy.
People say I sound white, like over the phone, but No, I'm confident this man is white. I have a white brain. Sounds weird. I know I'm not the only person that has a white narrator when I read. It's
Yeah.
impossible.
I mean, I would have like any color person if I know that you're the person who wrote something, I would read it in your voice.
No, but my
Like if
mind
I
is
read,
biased. My mind says anything that's educational must come from a white man. So there's a white reader.
mm,
Like it's bias. So
you should watch like go back and re-educate yourself. Watch Reading Rainbow for like a day, and it'd be good.
isn't that a white? Hold up. Reading Rainbow.
You can go
Hey, that's a
anywhere.
Star Trek guy.
Yeah, take a look. It's in a book. Reading Rainbow.
Is he still alive?
Yeah,
Man, that was 1983.
they
What does he
actually
look?
did a revival of. I think they did a revival of Reading Rainbow where he was on it too. Or no, no. What he was gonna do is there was gonna be this somebody who was gonna be like a
LeVar
host.
Burton.
Yeah, and and they ended up ditching that person and going with him because I can't remember what the controversy was with the other person, but yeah, he's
He
still
a-
around.
he aged well.
Yeah,
He doesn't look like he had plastic surgery. Yeah, he aged well.
he
He's
had plastic
66.
surgery.
No, no, no. I don't think so. I'm saying he doesn't look like an actor
Oh,
that would have like gotten surgery to try to be relevant for Hollywood.
he has got the meanest like beard line ever though. Like it's so like perfectly a V shape.
Yeah, it's like a comic villain.
His birthday's coming up here, the 16th of February, so 1957. It's getting
Oh,
old.
he was in Roots.
Yeah, wasn't he Kunta Kinte?
I remember him from Star Trek. I didn't even. Yeah, I never put Roots together. Oh wow, that's Toby. Holy crap. Yo, that is. Hold up. Give me.
Wait,
I'm gonna share my screen. Hold up. Hold up. Like, that's funny. I don't
he
think you understand the gravity of how funny this is. So this man right here. Hold up. Can I? This man right here
hmm
was Data in Star Trek.
Yeah, I know
Okay.
that.
I was just say Root. Okay, he was Data in Star Trek. That's where I remember him from. Okay.
hmm
For whatever reason, I never connected him with the movie Roots. So Roots, obviously, he's Toby. He got beat until he finally said, "My name is Toby," right?
Yeah. What's your
But but,
name?
but then he played like an elite, like brainiac, like engineer type dude during the space age. I think that's just a crazy range of acting. That's all. That's the part that I was tripping on.
Yeah. Yeah.
To
Um,
be a slave and then to be like a space engineer. Like the shackles right here
yeah.
to this guy right here. Holy crap. Will Smith would never accomplish that. So
Well, Will Smith's done a lot of space films, but I don't know. Has he done that one where he's been a slave or had to endure
no,
like
he
that?
played I never saw the movie. He played Muhammad Ali, right?
Yeah.
Um I think the lowest he's gotten down to was uh what's that movie where he played the homeless dude, homeless father, and then he went to Wall Street. Pursuit of Happiness, is that the name of the
Yeah.
movie?
Yeah. Pursuit of Happiness. That was a good film.
I don't know how to spell happiness.
People are gonna tell you you can't do what you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Chris Gardner. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm not taking away from his acting, but yo, this Levar, how you say his name?
LeVar
Hold on,
Burton.
LeVar Burton. Like, yo, he's underrated, and I'm not confident that he had the same opportunities that we have today. Yeah, he slept on. I wish. Yeah, he was born in the wrong time, man.
Well, I mean, he's still acting for stuff. He was in the recent Picard movie because Picard, the last season of Picard
Oh, you're right.
was basically Star Trek: The Next Generation, like the final season, like a revival season. Because Picard, the first two, is very much about just Picard himself. They've got a lot of tiebacks or whatever, but literally the last season of it is
Mm,
just Star Trek: The Next Generation,
dude,
and
I'm highly likely going to watch this today.
yeah, the like I said, the first two seasons are a little. I don't know how big of a Star Trek fan you were, but the first two
My
seasons,
father was into it, and so I kind of had no choice but to watch it.
yeah, I mean,
I didn't really understand like what was happening, like the storyline, but I just remember the intro to every episode. Yeah, my father was into that stuff.
yeah, the first season plays more like I'd say more like a drama. I don't even know how to describe it. It's not your traditional Star Wars or Star Trek, excuse me, film or TV show. Second season kind of has a mix of stuff, and then the last season is that's just phenomenal. If you liked Star Trek: The Next Generation at all, like that last season
So my favorite
was
character
perfect.
was Worf. Worf was the Romulan, right? The this
No, he was a Klingon, but Worf gets
same
he's
thing.
in. Yeah, he
Who
plays in that right there. Yeah,
who
Worf.
was the Romulan?
I don't know that they had a
The hell they did. I didn't pick that word out of
Romulan.
nowhere.
No, they have Romulans, but I don't know if they had any Romulans on the.
Spock was
He's
starts
a
with a
Vulcan.
Vulcan.
Yeah, and Vulcan
Okay,
and Romulans are very similar. They like split from the same planet or whatever, and the Romulans kind of became more. I don't know,
but they had
more
heavier
freedom.
gravity or whatever
But they,
they
yeah,
migrated.
they do have Romulans because Picard in this film is very much like because I can't remember if it's the Romulan homeworld gets blown up, so all the Romulans are displaced. So he tries to take care of them, kind of a thing, or advocate for them. Um, is part of like the whole thing in some of the later seasons. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Worf is he plays kind of like a in the last season he plays kind of like a spy, I guess. Um,
So here's a question. You see all these different ethnicities, right?
mhm.
You think Data was a diversity hire?
Was Data diversity hire?
Or
No,
was Data a
no,
droid? Was he a human or a droid?
he was human.
You think he was a diversity hire? Or you think he was authentic? I thought
No,
there
I
was a
think that
droid.
they.
No. Who
He's
was
a
the
droid.
droid?
He's right there. Well, he's not.
No. Okay, Star Trek Next Generation. There was a droid. It
Yeah,
that it that the
you
droid's
literally
name
were
was Data.
hovering.
Who
Yeah,
who
right
was
below him. Right below him. That guy.
oh, okay.
Yeah, Brent
I,
Spillner or whatever his name
I
is.
don't remember him.
Yeah, he plays Data, but
No.
he also plays his like historical self in this too. It's kind of weird,
Okay.
but
You don't think there was any diversity hires in here?
I don't think so. I think that I don't know. I mean, maybe so the first season or the first rendition of Star Trek, did that have anybody who was black in it?
Yeah, it was a woman. It was a.
Oh
It,
yeah. Yeah, okay. But yeah,
uh,
I don't know. I'm surprised there's no Asians though. There was
there was
in Voyager there was. Was there an Asian in
old
the
school.
next
I'm
generation?
almost positive. Next,
There was
almost.
obviously there was in the first one because it's
I don't know why I'm so
what's
excited
his
about this
name?
topic.
Yeah. What's his name?
um,
God.
I'm almost positive. There has to be. Agents are smart. Hold up.
Yeah. So the George Takai,
Yeah, this was the black lady. I think.
yeah, and George Takai, that was
Here's
from
the.
the first season. Or the just Star Trek, those were,
Oh,
yeah.
you're talking about Star Trek Next
The next generation.
Generation
Yeah.
actors. I don't know why we're geeking out on this. Well, hold up.
I mean, I'm sure
How
that
was
they had
Whoopi?
Asian.
Whoopi was not on Star Trek. What
Yeah,
the
she
f?
was.
The hell she
She was
wasn't.
in Picard too. Yes, she was.
No, she wasn't.
She played this like empath type person thing. I don't even know. I don't know Star Trek: The Next Generation that well, but I know enough that I liked it.
I don't
But
ever remember Whoopi Goldberg in Star
she's in
Trek.
it.
She's
Look
not
her
even
up.
a fit.
She's also in Picard.
Why are there so many people on here? Who's this other black guy? Holy crap! There's another one. They're all over the place.
Well,
Why
Devora,
does
that
he
guy
look
is
familiar?
that.
This guy looks familiar. He has to be in mafia movies. He looks hella familiar.
I think Tim Russ is in Voyager. Actually, is primarily what he's in, but he makes appearances. Um,
Who's this guy right here? He looks mad familiar.
Paul's no idea. You can
I think
probably
he was.
click
I
on him.
think he was in the movie Harlem Nights. He
Oh,
looks
maybe.
mad familiar. You ever see Harlem Nights?
Probably not.
You should watch it with your wife. Get her reaction.
My favorite, one of my favorite tie-in to Star Trek though is I'm a big fan of gargoyles, which I've got like freaking, you know, gargoyle stuff all over. It's a cartoon from Disney, but they had so many voice actors from Star Trek on it. Like if you look at the crossover, it's huge. So like Worf does a voice, and Riker or Jonathan Frakes, who played Riker, does Xanatos, and I've got his signature over here.
He was in Goodfellas. Not that I ever like paid attention to the movie, but I immediately associated him to like, this guy looks familiar.
That Cry Uncle cover looks funny.
Where is he? Oh, yeah,
Middle, yeah.
that looks like artwork I would have done.
I can't tell if it's supposed to be like boobs or testicles or a butt. What the hell is that?
It looks like a ball sack.
I know it does, doesn't it? Anyways,
The Firm. That was a good movie. I literally remember seeing that in the movie theater. My parents took me to Center Mayfield.
yeah, isn't that the You Can't Handle the Truth? Was a
No,
big one
that's
out
a
of
few.
that one.
I thought that was A Few Good Men, or
I thought The Firm was You Can't Handle the Truth.
no, that's not The Firm. The Firm didn't have Jack Nicholson in it. I thought.
Oh
A
no,
Few
that's A
Good
Few Good
Men.
Men. Yeah, you're right. I feel like there was like a. I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking of the first or that other one. Anyways,
Harlem Nights is a funny movie. I promise I'll stop sharing. But you got to see this movie right here. Hold up. Okay, I can't spell it all. This movie
oh
has all the classic
yeah,
comedians from back in the day.
Jonathan Pryor, whatever his name is.
Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor. Richard. I don't know why I think where I got Jonathan from. I was
It
probably thinking
has
Jonathan
Red
Frakes.
Fox. You remember Sanford and Son?
No.
You don't remember Sanford and Son?
I'm trying to remember that guy. Well, I remember that tone, but
Yeah, he's always on the set, fake as if he was having a heart attack, and then he finally
well,
died from a heart attack.
well, it's got Eddie Murphy and Richard
The
Pryor
movie is a classic. It's a cult
and
classic.
the Oracle, Arsenio Hall.
Okay, so yeah, I confused that Paul guy with this guy
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Do you think that guy was a diversity hire?
the white guy.
Just kidding.
He was out the whole point of I won't give you the storyline of the movie, but
All right.
it's a mafia movie comedy. I'll just say that. So this guy's dead. Half of the people on here are probably dead now. Okay.
Well, I know Richard Pryor is, but I mean, I'm not seeing a lot of other people who like sit out as major deaths. But probably. I mean, you think about like how long ago. What movie did this come out, or what year did this come out?
This was, I would say 1988. Let's see if I'm right. The movie came out in
89.
1989. My memory's on point. I was off. Like I have a tolerance of like 1 year.
Just think
Okay.
of how long that was ago, though. And these people were all in their probably what 30s at the time, maybe
I would
30s,
say
40s,
he looks like
50s.
he's in his late 20s.
Okay, so that would put. I mean, think about that. That's 89. That's what almost 40, not
Yeah,
almost 40, like 35 years ago.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've produced so much within like 100 years
And
compared
now
to
AI
like,
will produce like way more in the next 100.
well, you think about the human race, and I don't know when the human race started, specifically humans and not Neanderthals or all the other species of people with big heads that walk upright. But I would imagine that the human race has probably existed. This is going to sound really ignorant for at least 100,000 years. And you think about within the last 150 years, which is probably like 0.0000001% of the total time that we've been walking on this earth, we have ChatGPT. Like everything like just skyrocketed. And I don't know why. Electricity was discovered. No, when was electricity harnessed? I know your default answer is going to like the white guy in my brain says Benjamin Franklin, right? But when was it actually like harnessed, like put together and like used for power?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I'd assume that the majority of this was actually agriculture that gave you like reliable
You-
agriculture. Because
You're
I
talking about
mean,
steam engine?
well, no, I'm talking about reliable agriculture in terms of that's what made this all possible. Because if people are spending all of their time trying to get food, they don't have any time for anything else. Once you get reliable, sustainable agriculture and are able to grow food and maintain food and keep a food source, that's what allows people to go off and explore other things. That's why
I
this
th-
all happened.
I know the answer.
If we didn't, we'd
I
still
think the
be
first use
subsistence
of
farming. I mean,
no, I think the first use, and I welcome to be wrong, but I think the first use of electricity in which it was harnessed, I believe it was the light bulb. You think that's off?
yeah, I mean, it seems like it would be more like a, yeah, I think that we would have used it for like a motor or something before then. Because the light bulb's kind of a finicky thing. Like it's a filament that's burned at a certain, you know, whatever where it doesn't
Well,
explode.
okay, if it wasn't the light
It's a little
bulb,
more advanced than other things.
then
Probably use it to
is it fair to
electrocute
say that a
people.
locomotive is electricity? I just think of coal, but I don't.
What was the first
To me, electricity
electric
is wires.
powered thing? Uh, the first attempt to use electrical energy may have been in medicine. Greek, Romans, and Egyptians reportedly used electric fish as a treatment for. Oh, that's not exactly what I meant there.
Yeah.
Here, I'll ask ChatGPT quick. It just has me log in again. Damn it! Did I tell you I lost my phone this last weekend?
No, how you do that?
Down an ice fishing hole.
You ain't diving
Had it
in
on
to
my
get it?
leg. Had it on my leg, and then my leg turned into a slide, and then it was.
Why didn't you go in there and get it?
I put my arm down, but it's 30 feet down. So
Yeah, I don't think I would be able to go that far down. I think I could be able to go like, well, no, that's not true. I I think the max I would be willing to go down is probably 20 feet, which in theory is nothing to someone that can really swim.
I'm gonna say what was the first use of harnessed electricity by humans? Yeah, dude, it was a wild weekend. We caught a lot of fish, but like the first day we showed up, one of the people in our party got arrested for like, they were drunk and they accidentally took a car. Someone else's car. Oh
Took a car,
god.
stole a car.
Well, technically stole it, but I don't. He wasn't in his right mind. He didn't know what he was doing.
How you
This
steal a
guy wouldn't.
car?
Well, so apparently he like went out and he like looked around or looked. I don't know what he was thinking because he wasn't. He was like literally really drunk, and I guess he saw this running vehicle, thought it was ours, and he took it. I I don't know,
While he
but
was drunk.
yeah,
So
yeah,
so that's driving under the influence. That's a DUI. In theory, that's a felony.
yeah. Oh yeah, no, he's in big trouble. I mean, in terms of what
Did he
he's got to
crash it?
deal with. He luckily no, he didn't kill anyone. He didn't crash. Well, he sort of crashed it into like a ditch, but it wasn't like the guy drove it out the next. The guy who actually the vehicle was really cool. He didn't want to get the police involved or anything. He was just like, I if I can just find my vehicle, I don't need to do that. I don't want to get anyone in trouble. But but yeah, I don't know. This poor guy though, because he's a good guy. He's not a violent guy. He's not gonna steal a vehicle. There's no reason to steal a vehicle. It was
He did
just a
steal a vehicle.
yeah, but it was an accident.
How do you accidentally steal a vehicle, even if you're drunk?
I don't know. Like he
It
does
wasn't
actually.
his.
The thing is, he doesn't even remember doing it at all. Like
Yeah,
zero.
that's what
He's
happens when you
no
black out.
retention. Yeah, he blacked out and suddenly he's in jail. I mean,
For the same reason that I don't really drink because I have the same habit. I don't know if we have ever had this conversation, and maybe it's normal, but like when I go on vacation, it usually happens when I'm on vacation, which is why I purposely didn't drink when I was living in the Philippines because there's a lot of lady boys out there, and I would lose it if I woke up with like sperm on my lips the next morning. I would lose it. So, yeah, like I'm a high functioning drunkard. When I do like drink, one is I love everybody. I'm hugging everybody. I'm getting in my feelings. I start getting like teary eyed and emotional. I can completely drive. Like
I love you,
it's
man.
yeah, a
Stuff.
whole
Yeah,
Budweiser commercial.
yeah.
Um, but I've been I've been woken up on club parking lots from just falling asleep, like on in parking lots, like on this not in the car, like
In the lot.
on the pavement.
Oh,
I've
geez.
been scraped up by bouncers on there. I've woken up like at 7 o'clock in the morning with a whole bunch of seagull crap all over my windshield because I just thought that once I got in my car and blinked at the when I walked out of a nightclub, and after I blink like this, open my eyes back up, it's like the next morning with seagull bird crap all over my windshield and a huge
Jeez.
jug of tequila on my lap. I've I've woken up at airports where like I was at a nightclub and then I blinked and then I'm at a gate at the Atlanta airport. Like it's that movie Hangover.
It's like time travel.
Obviously, well, yeah, the movie
Yeah.
Hangover. There's so much truth to it where like you literally don't know how you got there. High school reunion, people are like, "Yo, you were effed up." I'm like, "No, I was straight. I remember that night." And then they showed me pictures, and my eyes are rose in the back of my head. I'm hugging people I don't even know. It's bad. So I don't drink except for
Yeah.
last night. I kind of stepped out, but
I've
yeah.
had nights where I don't remember things or I've blacked out, but like I never do anything too crazy or like, you know,
I've
I
I
don't know.
wish I could pause. I wish I wish I could tell you something that's not
You can tell me
recorded
after.
forever and on the internet. I can't. I'll tell you when we go offline. It was bad.
Yeah. Jeez. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, I've never had it too bad. I've done some stupid things, but never like
No, there has to
never
be a
that
feature on here.
stupid.
How do I mute the recording and just tell you while we're still talking to each other?
I don't know. I don't know what the streaming controls look like on this.
You send me a private chat of your phone number. I'll tell you in like 5 seconds. I'll call you. Then we hit resume.
Fine. Actually, I might have your phone number. Try. It's like I don't have anybody's phone number except for like a bunch of random people and like I don't know.
When am I saved as Scott Mastermind?
No, just Scott Nimrod.
Oh,
Does it end with 6 7?
yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Hit mute.
All right, hold on. I gotta hit mute. Yeah, that's
No,
something.
I had to tell Sean when I had blacked out one time, and it's not safe for me to tell on the internet where it's going to be held against me for the rest of my life and in my future generation.
Yeah. All right. So it's your job, Gamlar, once the video is live, to go back and try to make it out just from his lip movements.
But I
So.
was terrified. I didn't think I was. I was like, I'm not capable of this. There's no way. There's no way.
Oh my God.
Even if I'm under the influence, I am not capable of doing something that horrific. I was so thankful once I realized what had happened. So I'm sure I'm not the
Yeah.
only person. Uh, yeah. So don't drink. Stay away from drugs.
Yeah.
I consider alcohol a drug.
Well, yeah, it is. Caffeine's a drug too.
It's a great way if you can't sleep. It's awesome for rest.
No, it's not. It's
It
terrible for
is.
rest.
I have never woken up in the middle of the night as a consequence of being drunk. Ever. I'm stone cold knocked out.
But alcohol doesn't allow you to get into REM sleep.
The
So
hell
like
it does. I had it last night.
people who drink a lot like and become alcoholics, they can never get REM sleep. They can never get like dreaming. So they end up
Um,
eventually what'll happen is like the dream state will start to go into their wake state and they'll start to trip out or whatever.
well, use the conditional statement and alcoholics, not
Yeah,
alcoholic.
like somebody who's really addicted to alcohol and uses it continuously. But I sleep. I'll get to sleep real easy, but sometimes I don't know about you, but I'll wake up hours later and just like I can't get back to sleep then.
What are you talking about without alcohol?
No, with alcohol.
No, in my case, I'm out for at least like 6 hours. At least.
Yeah.
Like I'm out.
No, THC I think helps me sleep a bit, but I'll get really groggy and foggy the next day if I do that.
What's crazy is I don't remember any of my dreams where I was drunk and passed out.
Yeah, because you don't dream.
Well, you have to. That's the whole point of being in deep sleep.
No, it suppresses it.
How do you
You can
suppress
be
a
asleep
dream
and not get REM sleep and dream states.
for more than 6 hours?
Yeah,
Nah, there's stages to sleep. I'm
yeah,
almost
and the
confident
deep
after
one you
three
never get
hours
into.
you're in a deep sleep. I would be willing to argue after 2 hours. I would be willing to argue after an hour to hour and a half you've achieved REM.
No, hold on. REM sleep and alcohol. Biggest problem with alcohol causes insomnia. After a few hours of sleep, alcohol can cause you to wake up and have a difficult time going back to sleep. Alcohol also has a negative effect on REM sleep. REM sleep's the deepest state where you have the most vivid dreams.
You're looking at
Yeah.
Wikipedia.
Oh, this is some sort of like
WebMD.
Piedmont Healthcare was the first one that came up on
Was it in
Google.
.com or .org?
That one is a .org.
Okay.
Um, yeah, no, I mean, it'll mess up your REM sleep if you don't if you drink enough, where it'll happen. But
I think you don't think if alcoholics actually looked at videos of dying patients with liver disease that are turning yellow
cirrhosis,
on
yeah,
their deathbeds, you don't think that would be enough for them to like
no, it's an addiction. Addiction,
addiction or
like
not? I watching those, so I purposely watch motorcycle fatalities. I went binge watching for 2 days on like liver disease, and I rarely drink alcohol because that's the first thing I think about,
yeah. Well,
unless I'm trying to get laid.
addiction is addiction's like a different thing though. It's not like I don't know. It's not.
Well, yeah, your body will become sick unless it gets appeased by whatever crutch that you
Yeah,
rely on.
and but there's addictive personalities too. So even if you break it where you're not going to get sick, like if you get back into it, it's extremely hard to get out of it. So,
I
um,
was I struggle with gambling, but I was at a casino 2 weeks ago. I didn't gamble. That's an
yeah,
accomplishment.
but there are people who have gambling addictions too, and it's the same thing. It's one taste of it, and their whole world will get blown up. So it's a nasty thing. That's why you don't call someone like, "Oh, you've cured your addiction." It's like nobody's cured. They're an addict the rest of their life. It's just a matter of whether they're relapse or not.
You think
So,
so?
yeah, that's why like generally addicts don't become like responsible users after they're done. It's got to be like an all or nothing type thing.
All right. Well, I guess I was never a gambling addict.
If you can say no to it now, probably not, unless something happened. I mean,
I didn't
because
like the.
you
I
did
didn't
have
like.
that experience you said once where
I didn't
your
like the
mind changed.
stress. I didn't
Yeah,
like the stress. Like when I would go into a casino, I'm immediately thinking, yeah, I'm about to come out this casino with enough money to buy a Suzuki motorcycle. Like I immediately decided on what I was going to buy with the $10,000 that I was going to win from the casino. Like that's the way my mind was wired.
yeah.
Um,
I always just go in assuming that I'm going to lose everything, and then I'm fine. Like
and then like
lose it all. Like
I'll
all the money I go in with. I mean,
I'll be up like 500 or $1,000, and I'm like, nah, $9,000 away from that Suzuki, and then I'll lose like I'll lose like 500, and I'm like, yo, f that. The house owes me. I gotta get my money back, and then it just
yeah,
spiraling.
that's the
A
spiral. Yeah, that
thousand
goes crazy.
down, 1,500 down.
Yeah, because you're like, I won once. I can do it again, but likely you
The,
can't because the
the
odds
the
are so
biggest
bad.
loss that I took at a casino, which contributed to me like just giving it up, was within 48 hours across two different countries. I lost like it was either 3,500 or 4,000. I think it was like $3,500, and I'm like, all right, I'm done. I can't do it. I can't sustain this. And I know that's nothing compared to other gambling addicts. But I lost way more in casinos, which I think is a glorified form of gambling. It's just acceptable. Or I meant to say stock market. I don't know what I said
Oh
before
yeah,
that.
yeah. Stock market's gamble for sure.
Yeah.
So
And crypto.
yeah, yeah. No, I think I've only lost maybe a few $100 ever. I mean, I've been up and then I've lost the money that I was up, but not by much. I mean, usually what I'll do is like I'll go up and then I'll set like a lower break point. Be like, okay, I can lose up to 50% of this winning or something like that, and then I'll
And
go
you're
back
disciplined
down.
enough.
Sometimes. I mean, it depends on,
I
you
mean,
know.
another way to look at it, which I think you were alluding to, is you're paying for entertainment, and this entertainment for $200. If I don't get outrageous with my wagers, then this $200 should last me probably an hour and a half of emotional up and downs, and then at the end, I'm done. But there's been times where I stepped inside the casino, and I swear to God, I've lost like 17 out of 20 hands. Like defeats the whole like probability. Like it's supposed to be like I would assume like if you play everything right, I thought it was supposed to be like 48-52, right? In which over time the house is just gonna get you. But I'm talking about like as soon as I step in, like within like probably 20 minutes, I lost like $300
Yeah. Now, granted,
off of
I
like 20 hands.
generally don't play table hands, so I usually just play slots. But um, I actually like roulette a lot
I
because
usually play two hands of blackjack simultaneously.
hmm, yeah, I never got into blackjack.
I blame it on my mentor or late mentor. He got me into gambling. He was also my professor in community college.
Hmm.
So I used to go to, well, Windsor is far from you. Windsor Casino in Canada.
Yeah,
It's across the river from Detroit, but
yeah,
it's in
I'm
Canada.
familiar with where Windsor is.
Niagara.
Yeah, it's funny. Like we have, so like the Indian casinos. I don't know why, but they do not have roulette tables though. They like every once in a while find a like a electronic roulette machine, but never like a roulette table. Not in the Minnesota casinos. So
What's it like going inside the casinos? Is it the only thing that's like native about it is probably like the leadership. Like you'll probably see like Native Americans wearing their black suits, but they're like running the casino, right? The dealers, they're like white or Mexican or black, right?
yeah, yeah. Most of the casino workers are probably white, like the
Okay.
the lower echelon, like people doing handing out drinks and dealing and all that kind of stuff are mostly white people.
I should run for politics, and you should lobby for black casinos.
We'll just
That'd
let
be-
yeah. Why don't we just let the like black people are the only ones allowed to sell marijuana. Yeah. The first actually in Minnesota because they legalized it. The first dispensaries are on Indian lands because the are Indian owned because I think the requirements are they're I don't know something about their sovereign nation probably allows them to get
so
licensing.
if that happened, I could promise you. You know how like white and black people claim that they're like 164th or 128th Native American.
Yeah.
I promise you, if 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 the state decides to grant black people the sole like owners of marijuana dispensaries, I promise you, white people be like, I got 164th black in me. My great 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 granddaddy, like had a baby with a plantation slave, and then they decided to go back to white again, and through the rest of the generations. And yeah, I'm owed this. I wonder what percentage of what percentage of any ethnicity can qualify you to be that ethnicity.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I
I
would
would have
argue
to
like
assume
one
like
fourth.
yeah, I'd have to assume a fourth like would make sense to me. Like I don't beyond that, I'm not sure like you're really getting diluted then. So maybe you could just say if you were majority black, then, or at least 50% there. That's the rule. Then you can own a casino or a dispensary.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. I
The
think it would be
Ethiopian, or
interesting.
no, not the Ethiopians. The Somalis would be all over it in Minnesota, probably.
Well, no, no, you can't be no, f that. There has to be a
You
grandfather
gotta be a
clause.
you gotta be an actual,
It has to
like,
be a grandfather
two
clause. Like,
generation African
yeah,
American. Yeah, there you go.
can't be letting people just come over and take over like that. No matter how much responsibility and stoicism they demonstrate, can't
Yeah,
let people that
I
demonstrate
thought,
why they should have it more than people that don't demonstrate it take it. Then we be giving into like, yeah, f that. Nah,
yeah, it's funny because, like, I thought about it, like, because I know, like, African Americans and Africans generally don't like each other. And I'm like, I wonder if that, but you
that's not
know,
true.
well, I mean, they're like, no, isn't it the Africans don't like African Americans? Isn't that
That's what I
the
heard.
trope? But still, like, I think about that, and like, there were a lot of like Europeans that came over that the white people that are here didn't like. So I mean, it I suppose
So
maybe
there's
it's just the
stereotypes that there's stereotypes. I told Odie about this, and he laughed. It's kind of interesting. Before I go into the stereotypes, do you ever see people of like, or do you ever see Caucasians, but you know that they're not American, and they haven't said anything, but you could just look at them and know that they're not American? Because I
man.
could do that with Africans and Caribbean people, where
Yeah,
I could look at them. They don't have to say anything. I could just look at them and know that they're not African American.
hmm. I think there are certain like very Germanic people that I could maybe tell, but generally no. I would say that probably not. I'd probably assume that they're all
I could look at
American.
white people and tell that a white person is likely European just by the way they dress.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I guess it depends on if you're talking about just clothing. I thought if I'm talking about the way they look, but if we're talking
Well,
about clothing, I mean, because there are certain stylistic differences and stuff, but I don't know. But then, I mean, I don't know. You'd have to do a lineup. I could, you know what, the one I could tell you though, probably is if you lined up a bunch of women um, from Minnesota, I could probably tell which one of them are liberal and not.
I think I could probably do it too.
There's like this certain look to the Lutheran white middle-aged woman in Minnesota. Like the if you've ever seen Amy Klobuchar, she's probably like
I
the
don't even know what that
poster
means.
child, the senator from Minnesota.
Okay.
If you look her up, she's like the poster child for what I would paint as like the Minnesotan Lutheran liberal woman. She's got there's this look to her, and I see this look, and I immediately just have a reaction to I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. You know what I would like to do? I don't think they would accept me. I think I probably told you this. I told somebody. If there were any place for me to take a wife here in America, you know where I would go? But they probably won't accept me. I would go to Amish country.
Oh, the Amish.
Absolutely.
Why?
Because well, one is they don't rely on electricity, which means that they have no access or they purposely don't use social media, let alone smartphones. I feel like I'll be in heaven. 90% of problems I think would just go away when it comes to relationships and expectations when attempting to court
Yeah,
or
but you
share a
wouldn't like
life.
it because,
The hell
like,
I would. It's simple.
the Amish are all very religious, though. What you're looking for is like a hippie cult or like a hippie or a commune, a hippie commune.
As long as I'm not required to go to church, she can do whatever she wants
But I think that's part of the
in regards to
Amish.
religious.
I think that's part of the Amish like way though. You got to do that.
You got to marry in the faith.
Maybe you got to buy. Is it Mennonite? Maybe that you would.
Is
Maybe
a Mennonite
Mennonites.
and Mormon the same thing?
No, no. Mennonites are different. Mennonites, I think, are more like they're not Amish, but they're like they they don't they have similar traits where they don't use certain power electricity thing. I don't know.
Whenever there is
But you want to go to
a
like a hippie commune. That's what you
no,
want to do.
I don't want to deal with any woman that well, I don't want to deal with any modern woman. I don't want to deal with any woman that her entire life's purpose is in her phone. I don't want to do it.
Well, no, that's why I'm saying you go get a gal that lives in a hippie commune who's just gardening all day.
Yeah,
But she's got to probably have armpit hair, so you might have to deal with that.
no,
So you like sit there like,
no,
could I deal with that? I don't know.
no, no. I still want someone that doesn't resemble me. So
Well,
yeah,
women
I
naturally
like I
have armpit hair, so
that's fine, but I still want her to be a woman. I still want her to shave all that stuff. I don't want any symptoms of testosterone. Remove it all.
remove all
So
the testosterone. All
I
right.
I did a contract in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and that was like Amish country. I found it fascinating. They have weird accents. They sound like leprechauns. The men do. So it was like an Amish convention one time when I was going to a McDonald's. So
Amish. Yeah. So Amish, it's interesting. They can use power tools, but they can't own them. So
yeah,
like if
they
you
they
go up
rent
and say
drivers.
here, it's like here's a chainsaw. They can use the chainsaw, but they can't go out and buy it or whatever. Or like nail gun. You can use the nail gun, but you can't
That
buy
sounds
it.
like Orthodox Jews that on Saturdays they don't drive, but they'll like burn 500 calories like pushing a manual scooter with their foot. So
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose it's very similar. Yeah.
like okay,
I don't know. The whole day of rest thing kind of makes a lot of sense though. I don't know. Should have like
how does not relying on automation mean rest?
well, that's what it's supposed to be, right? But I don't know. I don't know. It's because it's if it's work, it's work, it's work. So I don't know why, you know.
And is kosher
Yeah.
just simply praying over food?
No, there's a whole set of rules about kosher. Like it's a kosher laws are there's a whole suite of like rules and things about like even how you gut things and how you like cook it. But the
Have you
kosher
ever had
laws,
kosher food?
yeah. I mean
It's still
pickles.
food. It's just a ceremony over it.
Yeah, it's just the way it's prepared. A lot of
Okay.
it's about preparation. And then there's rules about like what you can and cannot eat, like pigs are not kosher, for
So will my
instance.
diet improve if I only eat kosher?
I don't know, but there was so like when I was in college, I had a professor, and he said that, and I don't know where he got this information, but there was a guy out there who was studying the kosher laws, and he said that turned him religious because he's like, there's no way that it's like a manual for healthy eating or whatever, or like to survive as a species. Like a lot of the Old Testament stuff is a or the and the kosher laws and all that are meant to to make sure that the Jewish state lives on, or like the and a lot of that stuff is like there's no way they could have known this, and he's like, and so I guess that turned him to religious from there because it's like this doesn't make sense. I don't know if I'm saying that right,
Can
but
people actually convert to Judaism?
yeah, yeah. I guess it's hard, but you can do it.
I mean, you have to
You never
marry
really
into
be
it,
part of
right?
you'll never really be part of the tribe, but
I saw a
no.
black dude with a yarmulke like yesterday, and I was like, so I was trying to like analyze that so much. Like, man, how did I wonder how he? I wonder how that happened, right? The only thing I could think of is maybe he married into it, but I don't think they would let. Maybe they let a black woman marry into the.
Or
I
maybe
don't
he was
even know.
just wearing a yarmulke so he felt like he'd fit
He was
in.
at a synagogue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
No,
my mind is like,
you can
he
convert
didn't look
people.
African at all. He didn't look Ethiopian, right? I heard there's a lot
I
of
don't know if you
Ethiopian
can be an
Jews.
Orthodox. I don't know.
He was at the
Uh,
synagogue down the street. He was
how to
there.
convert to Judaism. In order to convert, the conversion candidate must have a circumcision, if male,
Check.
and immerse in Mekev before a kosher death din
I don't know what that is.
or Beth din. Mekev is a bath used for ritual purpose, so it's like a baptism
Okay.
before a kosher Beth din. Kosher certification enables you to certify your. Yeah, I don't know. Basically, you get
I got the first
certified as.
requirement checked off.
I see here. Oh, it's all. Yeah, it's all on. It's all on Wikipedia. Process become more centralized with the conversion candidate having to convince a rabbi and the Beth Din of their sincerity, and they will be usually considerable amount of study. So you got to study a lot,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then
I don't know.
you don't want to get your Jewish certification.
I want to be connected to them. They're really successful. So like, yeah, I want to be connected to them. But I don't think I'm willing to memorize chapters of. I don't even know what books. Torah is the first thing I think about, but I don't even know if that's even.
So it sounds like you can get into Reform Judaism for they're far more lenient. They're expected
No,
to
I
study
want the
Jewish
Orthodox.
theology,
I want the
history, culture, and
Orthodox.
customs.
They're all rich. I want to be connected to
Yeah,
the Orthodox people.
yeah. The modern Orthodox Judaism is the hardest to get into, I
I
guess.
live in the neighborhood. That's the first step. I'm circumcised. Last time I checked. That's check off too.
Reconstructionist
I just
Judaism.
don't have the time to read
Hmm.
because I'm too busy doing Azure. So
Yeah. So when are you taking the test?
they emailed me. Azure emailed me like yesterday. Like, okay, your 2 weeks have lapsed and you can now take the test again. I'm like, fuck you. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of discouraged, man. I'm kind of like real talk. I'm kind of humiliated. I thought I was bright enough that for sure I could pass anything on the second attempt, and nah, it put me in my place. So I gotta again. I was gonna try to finish up this API that I'm writing that leverages Cosmos DB and Azure Content Delivery Network. I gotta re-go through my huge stack of flashcards, probably for like 3 days. I wanna do something with APIM. It just looks weird. It looks kind of cryptic to me, like the
APEM?
API management,
Oh,
Azure API management, like your inbound, outbound, on air, and back end policies. Like it's like a XML syntax, and it just doesn't. It doesn't. It, it's not intuitive how to do things using their syntax, which kind of turns me off. And that would probably be the last part that I should probably know how to do something useful in, which my mind is like, nah, Scott, it's too weird.
a hybrid multi-cloud management platform for APIs across all environments. Interesting.
You never heard of that before? You heard of API gateways where,
Yeah, I've heard of gateways and all that. I didn't know what APIM meant. So
yeah, so basically it's a facade for your backend API or APIs in which you can modify the request so that it's relevant to the API that can satisfy it. You can modify the response um, that your API spits out so it's relevant to the client. It has a rate limiter on there. It has local cache depending on if you go, go above the basic tier.
Yes, it's got all the things.
Yeah. My biggest reservation is how much more latency does it add?
Probably not much. I assume it's pretty high performance.
Okay.
I
I
mean,
mean, I looked it up. So if you're using the very first time someone hits that server, they first hit API management,
hmm
then they do another hop into let's say Redis. All
hmm
right. And then Redis says, nope, I don't have anything here. And then they do another hop into an actual data store, such as like Cosmos DB or SQL Server, Azure SQL Server. Like that's like 3 hops just to retrieve some data.
hmm
And so that's like kind of my reservation of
extremely
like,
fast hops, though. I mean,
because it's all within the same data center.
well, if that's how you set it up, yeah. But yeah, I mean, as long as it's
I'm not sure if it's configured to be in the same like rack or same server.
yeah. I mean, the only thing would be is if you're going like over great distances to do these things, like then it could be a little slow. Like, let me tell you something that we had at my former gig, and we replaced this because it was stupid. So we had this Umbraco cloud solution where we would host websites for people on Umbraco, and so we just had a customized Umbraco thing. Umbraco, do you know where it was hosted? Their cloud
So
is
where was it hosted?
Western Europe.
Okay.
So if somebody was in California trying to access a website for this, like a game store in California, they would go from them to all the way to Germany, back to AWS East, which I think is in like I don't remember. It's like Virginia or something like that. To get data from our systems back to Europe to actually render the page, and then back to California. That was slow, but it was still reasonable enough where it wasn't like with caching. It didn't be too bad. Yeah, it was insane. So we switched that to I built a like a multi-tenant type thing where basically you just use the incoming we just use the incoming host name or subdomain as the well, it was the host name as the tenant identifier, and that's how you knew who you were trying to get to.
So I would have. This is my first time even using this. I don't even know if this is even going to. Oh God, it's a suspect.
Yeah, this doesn't
So
look right.
you,
This is,
you said California.
well, just
Okay.
say yeah. You're going
My
from
thought
California.
process. My thought process
What is this
was
like? Is this like Russian? The
I don't know.
Russian 3D Google Earth?
I can almost promise you I'm going to have like a whole bunch of emails about someone trying to hack my account
Yeah.
as a direct consequence. All right, so like California, my first thought process is they probably have like data lines that go over the polar cap.
Yeah, I don't. No, I'd assume that it's going from.
And so if you go directly over,
I would assume it's through the ocean, but maybe not. I don't know where they have the
this
internet
is
lines.
this is Asia right here.
Yeah, I'm talking about Western Europe though, so or
I
like
thought Asia
Germany.
was like if you go this way. I, g- I could have sworn if we went directly above, I thought that was going to hit Russia or something. Because I thought
It
Russia was
is.
somewhat close to Alaska. Okay.
You are hitting Russia first. I mean,
Well, why did it say Asia is like further down? Okay.
yeah. Well,
Europe is over here.
and Russia is in Asia as well. It's just most of it is in Asia.
Uh,
Half of it's
okay.
in less than half of it's probably in Europe
So no.
proper.
Okay, so it's still it looks like it's still somewhat faster if you go over the Earth instead of across the Earth to hit Europe.
Yeah, but I think the lines don't run. I don't think the lines run that way. I think the lines run probably through like,
They're in the ocean.
yeah, don't they run more like Scandinavia or not Scandinavia, like Greenland or like Nova Scotia over somewhere
Well,
over there?
so those are the
Oh,
lines.
Gambler's got a link for submarine cable maps.
Those are the lines. Would a line? Yeah. So the speed of light is still going to be faster than hitting the
Oh
speed
man, they've
of
run lines all over the freaking place. Wow. Yeah,
the
most of it's, yeah.
the
This looks like a video
alternative.
game.
The alternative would be hitting a satellite, and then that satellite, the signal hits the satellite, which is the speed of light. But then the satellite, no, is it the speed of light or is it? Yeah, it's still the speed of light. If you hit a satellite, it's just a satellite is like it could be 1,000 miles above Earth, right? And then it goes back down, or it may have to ping another satellite within the constellation. So it may have to hit like 2 to 3 satellites before it hits Western Europe.
No, it's
Dish.
all lines. Look at the
No, I'm
look
trying
at
to figure
the
out the optimal way of communicating. You're still saying it's lines, even if it goes across the
yeah.
Pacific
Yeah,
or Atlantic
I don't
Pacific.
think we use I mean, the first like higher speed satellite stuff has been um
I don't know how to.
whatever. Go to the thing Gambler sent. Submarinecablemap.com.
It won't let me click
Yeah,
on.
you gotta highlight it, copy and paste it.
It won't let me.
I can
It,
share it.
it won't let me select it at all. Anytime I hover over it, it just gives me an option to hide or display. It won't let me do anything else.
Let's see here.
Why did Gambler say ouch?
Because I was explaining the whole like path that you had to do to search somebody's inventory was like start in California, go to Europe, come back to the
Oh,
United States, do your search, go back to Europe, and then come all the way back to California. Like geographically, that's a problem for speed, but it's not
oh,
so
you're
slow.
showing it on your screen. Okay, I
Yeah.
didn't see it.
See, here's the map of that. Then it's really neat looking, though, man. Look at all these lines.
I guarantee you, Russia is going to sever them within the next 5 years. Russia or China, I guarantee within the next 60 months, they're going to be severed.
We haven't ran anything to Antarctica yet.
And we're not going to be able to go to Mars
We
because we're
ran a
going to
line
have
up to this stupid island. What is this stupid island?
Iceland or
This is
Greenland.
in Iceland.
I confuse Greenland with Iceland. I don't know the difference.
I actually
Oh,
have no idea what this
Greenland's to
island
the
is.
left. Yeah, what is that?
We ran two lines up there.
That must be
Actually,
new.
you know what? Maybe this is because didn't Facebook put like a freaking data center somewheres? In like because it's like it's naturally cold up here, so they've got natural cooling. I don't know. Yeah, look how many data lines run through the Suez. It's nuts.
Does Antarctica have any lines going to it?
No, no, it doesn't. I looked at that already.
Antarctica is huge.
It's not. It's just the way that the maps present it.
Antarctica is not the biggest continent.
I don't think so.
I think it is.
I mean, if you count ice mass, I don't know, maybe. But in terms of actual like land mass, I don't think it. I mean, because it looks huge because of the way that the map's laid out, but Greenland looks massive, and it's not.
So they have lines going to all the islands too, like in the Caribbean or in like Malaysia and Philippines.
Yeah, plenty down here.
That's crazy. I wonder when they did that.
Apparently, there's a line right
I mean,
here
it had
too.
to be recent.
Whoop.
They don't have any lines in the Great Lakes.
This is interesting. They ran lines specifically for these. Like, there must be bases up here, I'm guessing. I like this one. Whoop. Like, I just want to know what
That makes sense.
the Gulf of Mexico fiber optics. Like, why did they create this?
Probably EPA
Net.
mandated it because they couldn't run it through rivers or something and disrupt ecosystems. I don't know. That's my guess.
See, I was expecting there to be like one or two like going across here because I think this is the closest right here. But man, they've dropped a lot of lines. Holy cow!
I wish they would drill tunnels.
And this is probably all just for recording Lord of the Rings right here.
Drill tunnels under lakes so that we can go from state instead of me having to drive 3 hours in a L formation or route to get to Detroit from Cleveland. Just drill a tunnel under the Great Lakes so I could get there in like
the channel.
drill a tunnel.
Yeah.
Because a straight line I think is 90 minutes or an hour and a half from Cleveland to Detroit. But no, you have to drive around a lake and it takes like 3 hours.
Can't you just take a ferry?
They should do the same thing for continents, like drill a tunnel. Then your terrorists are going to blow it up.
Well, the channel hasn't gotten blown up.
Huh?
The channel?
What's the channel?
The channel tunnel? The channel, the one that connects France and England?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a big tunnel.
It's under a body of water?
Under the English Channel, yeah. Big ass tunnel. Yeah.
Oh.
It's called the channel.
Never knew.
I'm guessing it'd be easier
through it.
I'm guessing it'd be easier to do a bridge. I don't know. What is the cost to go through the channel? Channel cost.
Well, a bridge is susceptible. Well, I was going to say a bridge is susceptible to natural disasters, which I guess the same argument could be made about a tunnel. If it's
how much does
on
it
a fault
cost
line.
to take a train from London to Paris? If you buy it Eurostar, it's a 140 round trip to 400 one way. Pretty expensive. Take it, but people do it.
Build a tunnel from New York City to what's the closest European country? It would be London, right? No. Yes. Just build tunnels to connect continents, or drill tunnels to connect continents.
I'm guessing that would be a pretty expensive affair, and I don't even know because the
you would use a train. You would take that would take a long time.
The oceans would go so deep, so it's like
I think it would only make sense to put okay, this is ignorance. You drill a tunnel between continents, and then you just use trains to go back and forth, but they're like, what do you call it? Bullet trains.
Yeah.
Which will still take probably an entire day.
But you're talking about like really, really deep trenches and stuff. Like there's no way. There's just no way. There's no way.
You don't think we have the technology?
I mean, we could if humanity wanted that. It's just like when you could take a boat or an airplane. I don't know why you would want to try to take a train across underneath the ocean.
To make it easier for me,
if I don't it'd be like an amazing like modern wonder, I'm sure, but
yeah, you're right.
Let's connect Hawaii first. Make it mainland.
That's such a selfish acquisition of the United States. Poor Hawaiians. Like, just a military ship shows up, yo. Not only does this island belong to us now, but the other islands 100 miles away, they will also belong to us with their guns pointed at the monarchy. Like,
Well, if it wasn't us, it would have been.
if you
some
ever
other-
been to Hawaii, it's in the
No.
middle of nowhere.
Yeah, no. If it wasn't us, it'd be somebody else. I mean,
Well, it would be the
Japan,
Japanese.
China. Yeah, somebody would have conquered it.
No,
So,
China wouldn't have done it. It would have been Japan.
yeah, I mean, at least they're a proper state, like unlike Puerto Rico.
Yeah, you're right.
Or
I think
Puerto
Puerto Rico. I don't know what to think. I keep forgetting that that's a U.S. territory.
Yeah, and Guam and U.S. Virgin Islands, and there's a bunch of other places. Every military base is technically like, isn't that like, or every embassy is technically on U.S. soil because of the way that they structure these things. So, anyways, I probably should get going here and get at work here.
Yeah, I just realized it's like 9:00.
Yeah.
All right, so we covered a lot, including the guy that transitioned from being a slave to being a spaceship operator
Via the Reading Rainbow.
All right, Gambler, it's been real.
Yep. See ya.
All right, Sean, see you.
All right. See you next week. Bye.